I would like you to pull out the graphic organizer that I used when we first introduced ionic and covalent bonding. Since we've named both types of compounds, I'd like you to add that information to this graphic organizer. So if you could hit pause on the video while you look for that. What I'd like you to add to that is the idea of what you do with the naming. So facts and characteristics. If you don't have room to add it right in here, maybe you can add it somewhere off to the side here. I'll be using both areas just to reinforce this. So no prefixes in the name. And again, if you want to put some examples here, again, we probably have some of these already here, just sodium chloride. And again, if you need to use the overflow, aluminum oxide. For the covalent, you're going to use prefixes in the name. And again, if you need to pause the video to catch up on the writing, you can do that at any time. So CO2 would be carbon dioxide. And if we wanted to put something else, C4H10, tetracarbon, and again, use any of the white space you need, tetroxide as your examples for those. So that puts all of that information in the same place, how the bond is formed, how it's named, and you'll have all of that information. You'll be continuing with that. Okay, so you'll be faced with a mixture of these formulas, so you need to look at what the first element is. So nitrogen, you come over here on the periodic table and again find its position in terms of the line. It's to the right of the line, so this is a nonmetal. So I need to use prefixes in my name, so this would be dinitrogen trioxide. For my next example, I'm going to look at magnesium. I'm going to go to here on the periodic table. Magnesium is to the left of my staircase, so this is a metal. So no prefixes in my name, and I have magnesium chloride. So you really have to make that decision. Does it start with a metal or start with a non-metal? I briefly want to talk about our polyatomic ions. So you have this copper 2 sulfate, and again, if you look at copper, you should identify that one as a metal. Again, you can look that up on the periodic table, but I think most people know copper is a metal. This sulfate is actually a combination of both. So there's a little bit of sharing, but it does have a charge. So anything with a charge is an ion. So again, you have a metal and an ion, so your name is going to be copper 2 sulfate, as you see above there. There's no numbering system used with the 4N sulfate. So I just want to have you note that on the worksheet they will have both, and it's because there is so covalency in there. I'm not so much concerned about that as long as you can name it correctly. This one's probably one of the most difficult ones to explain is ammonium chloride. Your key is going to be that if it has 3 elements, so we have nitrogen, hydrogen, and chlorine, you're going to be looking on this chart for at least one of them. So this you should be able to visually split and see that this is ammonium. Again, this one's probably pretty easy to see the sharing part. So I have each of the elements written down here. So you'll see hydrogen has a need for 1 electron to have something done with it. It's actually going to be sharing that 1 electron here, here, and here. And I'm actually going to overwrite this one. So what it's going to do is take that pink one that's underneath here and move that one over here. So I'm going to put a pink circle here. So this is the ionic part of it, moving this electron, and the covalent part of it is sharing all of these electrons. So again, you can see that there's both to that. But again, your focus is it's going to have some ionic component to it, so you're going to use that chart to get the name ammonium chloride for this one. So you can see I did the first example for you. You're going to classify the type of compound it is, and because calcium is here, it is on the metal side, so that makes it ionic. So no prefixes in the names, calcium chloride. Okay, the one I just did for you in the last example. Prior to that is this ammonium chloride. So again, that's that oddball. This one is also ionic because NH4 is an ion. Okay, and that's on the back of your periodic table, so its name is ammonium chloride. Okay. Please finish this worksheet. There's a place on Moodle for you to post that you are finished with this. I'll let you know how you did. Thanks.